and welcome to a new edition of It's Tea Time. I'm your host, Jonathan Sellers, and back again for the first time in a few weeks. We haven't been in the same seats, but back together is Jeremy McClain, the Director of Athletics for Troy University. So good to see you again.
Yeah, thanks. Same here.
Back together on the show. So I know things have finally gotten into full swing with y'all. Softball got kicked off the weekend before. Baseball is kicked off, and basketball, they're really fighting right now to get into those final 8 spots for the Sun Belt tournament. So let's start it off with basketball. Men's team playing hard. Wesley Person named Sun Belt Athlete of the Week. They're fighting right now.
They are. You know, I think if I've got my numbers right, I think we've won 3 out of the last 5 games, and really had a chance at App State this past weekend, and kind of let one get away from us, but played really hard, and they played well at home. But big weekend for basketball. Big last 4 games. Right. Like you said, fighting to get into the tournament. Sun Belt basketball tournament takes the top 8 teams, men's and women's, and so we're fighting to try to get to that 8th spot, and you know, it's going to be really important 4 games from us from that standpoint, but playing better, and our guys have shown a lot of fight along the way.
And the women's team is actually, after kind of hitting a little snag, they've come back around, back on their winning ways. They kind of hit a little bump at South Alabama in one that could have gone either way, but got a big win at Appalachian State. They
did. You know, really, like you said, had a tough stretch. Kind of in the middle of the year, had a tough stretch, but really have found their groove a little bit again, and let one get away from them down in Mobile, unfortunately. But are playing better, and really that's what it's all about. You want to, you know, right now they're playing to get the best seed possible going into that tournament and be ready for tournament play, and you know, the objective obviously is to win that tournament and get into the NCAA tournament.
And I know that there is final home games this week, Thursday and Saturday. I know you want to get those fans out there for those last couple of games. So any big promotions or anything, or just encouraging fans?
Yeah, we've got several things going on. You'll see that you know, coming up. Some ticket promotions, some events to encourage our students to get out. But you know, we just really need everyone to come out and support and help us finish strong these last 2 games. You know, those Thursday night games, you know, we've really had good crowds. Saturday nights have been really good as well. Our Saturdays have been really good. And so we just need that one more strong push from our fan base, from our students, to get out there and support these basketball teams who've worked really hard this year.
And I know, as we mentioned, softball, baseball got started. Softball, 2nd straight weekend at home. They've got a 3rd looming this weekend, but continued good crowds out there and production from the softball team.
You bet. It's been a great start from a softball perspective. Weather's been great. You know, we had 2 tournaments these first 2 weekends and have one more on the 3rd weekend, and have played 10 games of those first 2 and gone 7-3, and really have played well. I think 2 of those 3 losses have been in extra innings. So. Really have been right there and competed well, and so a lot of good promise there. We've got some young pitchers that I think are you know, learning on the job, so to speak, at the college level, and that will continue to get better and better. So excited about what's going on there.
And then on the other diamond, baseball team, 4-0 start to Coach Smart's career, very promising start. I know you being a former baseball player got to go out and watch some of it. What do you think? Yeah,
it was fun to see those guys out there, and you know, to have that 4-game set for the weekend and be able to take all 4. You know, in baseball, that's tough to do. No matter when you're playing or who you're playing. Winning a series or sweeping a series is very difficult, especially a 4-game series. And so, just really impressed with the way we played. Played really clean baseball. We didn't make an error all weekend. You know, I don't care at what point in the year you go without making an error over a 4-game stretch. It's impressive. But when you do it out of the gate, it's even more impressive. And so. You know, I thought pitched really well, and a lot of positives there. Again, some young pitchers,
a lot of youth
who really are getting their first shot at it, and some true freshmen in the lineup too, and they all, I thought, really performed well, and you see glimpses of what can happen there.
And then they'll play UAB here on Wednesday night if the weather permits. Everything does look good that night, so hopefully they'll be able to get in that one, and kind of a big rivalry between those 2 teams.
You bet. You know, Wednesday night's going to be a big in-state rivalry night. Softball goes up to Tuscaloosa as well, and we'll be playing up there, and then we get UAB here for baseball, and so that's always a interesting matchup in state. And UAB is a really solid program. Coach Sheep does a great job up there, and you know, it'll be a tough one for us, but one we definitely want to make sure we win all those in-state ones we can.
And we're going to go ahead and preview into next week. I know they've got a weekend series ahead, but we can look ahead. That's what we can do. But next Tuesday is a big one. It's a Super Tuesday for many reasons, for politicians, but also for Troy baseball fans, getting to play Alabama at home. That's a big one.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Like you said, you get these in-state games, and it's always a lot of fun. There's a lot on the line. People some bragging rights in the community, and so that's always a lot of fun. And Alabama's they'll be a strong club. We know that year in and year out they're right in the mix, and so looking forward to that. Looking forward to a chance to have them here on our campus and really have a good crowd for that game and show the support for our guys.
And then the following weekend, getting to play Auburn, but that one's going to be in Pensacola for a big kind of round-robin tournament. And that should be a great opportunity for fans, especially ones along the Gulf Coast, to get out, watch Troy in a minor league baseball stadium.
Yeah, we're excited about that because, like you said, I think anytime we get a chance to travel and play in areas where we have a strong base, that's a really good thing. So playing in Pensacola Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, March 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, if I have my dates right. We play on Friday night, we play Auburn. On Saturday, we play Southern Miss, and then on Sunday, we play Michigan State. So 3 really good games against really good opponents that will give us a great measure of kind of where we are.
All right, I know that's way ahead, but something to look forward to for fans. And then all the other teams really gotten things kicked off. I know the men's golf team, they played in Houston over the weekend and played pretty well. I know Clayton Vinoy finished well in that tournament.
Yeah, they really did. And against a really, I think they had a slow start on day one, but really picked it up the next couple of days and next couple of rounds. And, I thought they finished well. It's a really strong field.
All right.
And so coming out of the gate with that one was a little bit of a challenge, but I think it sets us up well for the rest of the spring.
And something else, you speak strong fields. Look at strong schedules would be the women's or the men's tennis team. I don't think you can play much of a tougher schedule than they have. Their record doesn't show probably how well they've played, but they've played one of the top schedules in the country, and that's just going to help them later in the year.
It really is. I think going into this, we've had some injuries, so it kind of shifted our lineup a little bit there, but probably played one of the toughest schedules in the country moving in, and that will help us down the road. It's been a tough stretch, like I said, with some injuries and that kind of schedule. But as we move into conference, playing some conference opponents and some other tournaments, should put us in a good position for postseason run.
And I know that the indoor track season just kind of wrapped up with the indoor championships, kind of segueing into outdoor season, and they'll be busy and see them around campus running all the time. So.
You bet. Indoors finishing up today, as a matter of fact, and our women are trying to make a push there to finish in a strong position up in Birmingham, and then we'll be competing all spring, and it's been a busy February, March are always a busy months, but it's a lot of fun because we get to see so many of our student athletes compete.
And one final thing, I know we can't end the segment without talking football. Earlier today, the spring practice dates were announced. Right. So you want to fill us in on that?
Yeah. So the main one I think everyone will want to know is April 23rd is T-Day, and so that'll be the last scrimmage of spring, and we'll start spring practice basically right after spring break, and we'll have a couple of scrimmages along the way. April 9th is another date to remember. That'll be a Hall of Fame induction ceremony,
right.
And we'll also play a Hall of Fame scrimmage that day, so everybody can kind of make a day of it, come out, and there's a baseball series that weekend too, and then moving into T-Day, like I said, on the 23rd.
All right, so just a quick reminder of things going on this week. I know we're going to start things off with men's baseball on Wednesday,
right.
Playing at home at 6 o'clock, and then Thursday basketball, and then again Saturday basketball, and then softball
right.
at home. So
that's right.
A lot's going on. I probably missed something in there.
Softball starts on Friday with another tournament this weekend, and then, like you said, and then basketball again, doubleheader on Saturday.
And so just check TroyTrojans.com for all the schedule information. All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time. Welcome back to It's Tea Time, and we're here with head coach of the men's basketball team. That's Coach Phil Cunningham, and welcome back, Coach. It's kind of been a tough season for y'all. Just some things haven't quite gone y'all's way, but right now you're fighting for one of those final spots in the tournament and trying to get in there with 4 games left. But let's talk about those last 2 games against South Alabama. Went down to Mobile and got a big win down there, and always good when you can win on the road against a big rival.
Yeah, we played well at South, and that was our second win in a row. After beating Georgia State at home on Saturday, just in a real hard-fought game, and had to quickly turn around and go down to South on Tuesday, and just really came out in the first half and even though we weren't making shots, we were 1 for 15 on threes in the first half, but we really defended well.
Right.
And held them probably to a season low at halftime, and then just continued in the second half. And then in the second half, Wesley Person heated up, and we made some shots and got a lead as much as up to as much as 24 points. And got a great win down there, one we really needed to get against them on their home floor.
And then you had to make that long trip up to Boone, North Carolina to face Appalachian State, both teams kind of fighting for one of those final spots. And it was a back-and-forth battle, but they ended up coming out on top.
Yeah, it was a really good game. We got off to a slow start. We got down 8-2, 9-2, and then the rest of the first half, we just had to, with everything we had, just to get back in the game. And we did. We cut the lead to 2 at halftime, and the game went back and forth. We took a lead late in the game, and even in the last minute, we had a chance to, with down 2, we got Wesley Person a wide open 3, just didn't go in. That would have put us up 1 with 30 seconds to go. And so it was just a hard-fought battle, and they came out on top. We missed some free throws. We missed 9 free throws, but really, played well enough to win. And just another one of those close losses for a young team.
Right, and you mentioned a young team. Wesley Person actually was named Sun Belt Player of the Week, so great honor for him. I know he's played well this year.
John, he was really deserving. I mean, he had a tremendous week, just from not only from a statistical standpoint, but where he put his team to go into South and win on your rival's home court, and obviously he played a huge role in that, and then to go to App State, and a tough place to play after a long bus ride up there, and against a really good team with a lot of seniors playing on their team, and had ourselves in a position to win. And it was, a big part of it was how well he shot the ball and had 30 points. So he had a tremendous week, and I've seen him really grow as a player. Mm-hmm. Even in the second half of conference play, he's done some things that we haven't seen a whole lot of. He's being more of a verbal leader with his teammates, and he played one heck of a defensive game Tuesday down at South Alabama. I mean, he guarded Ken Williams a lot, who's one of the leading scorers in the league, and did a tremendous job on him. And Wesley's always kind of been known as an offensive player, but he did a terrific job defensively that night. So he's really taken a step forward in his career.
Well, it's got to be good to see some of your young players really stepping up. I know Wesley Person, Jordan Bernardo, Sean Hopkins, B.J. Miller, Yarrow. I mean, a lot of these guys really stepping up, and I know that's good as the season kind of winds down, but looking into the future as well.
No doubt. I mean, we at the midpoint of the conference play, we were really struggling in terms of winning and losing. We were in a lot of games. We didn't think we were playing awful. We thought we were actually playing pretty good, but just having trouble winning close games. So we told our team, when we started league play, 6 out of our top 8 guys had not played in a Sun Belt, had not experienced the Sun Belt round robin, and so once we got to the midpoint, we told our guys, look, we can't use that as an excuse anymore. Now you've been through the league, you know what to expect. Let's take a step in this second half, and we've done that. We're playing a lot better, and had some really good wins. That we were going for our 3rd road win of the year, road win in a row at App State, and there had only been one team in the league who had done that so far this season. So that was a challenge we put before them that we didn't accomplish. But yeah, just moving forward, I mean, we're getting great experience for those young guys, and we've got a really good young core on this team right now, a core of talent. And
I know you're kind of wrapping up the home season, 2 games this week, 2 tough teams, Louisiana Lafayette on Thursday and then Louisiana Monroe on Saturday. So what is your outlook on those games?
Well, they were the preseason number 1 and number 2 pick in the league, and I think now Monroe's sitting in 2nd place, and I think Lafayette's in 3rd. So they're both talented teams. They both have, each team has 3 or 4 seniors who are in their top 5 or 6 players, and it seems like that's every night we play. So it's the senior-laden league, but they're really talented. Lafayette has probably the best player in the league in Sean Long, who could be, who could eventually be drafted by the NBA, and Monroe's just really got a good core of players who've had a tremendous year down the stretch here. So they'll both be challenging games, but basically they had the same teams last year, and we played them. We lost to both of those teams in overtime at home. Right. So we can play with them at home. It's not like being on the road, and we've got to just keep fighting right now to get a couple more wins. But we got to take it one day at a time and look at Lafayette first. Yeah, and hopefully you'll have a big crowd out there Thursday night. I know the season's winding down, so a final chance for fans to come out there and support you and hopefully cheer you on the victory. Yeah, hopefully we get the fans out because this team's playing a lot better. Right. I mean, to go on the road and to win at Arkansas State, to win at South Alabama, and so we've really we've played much better down the stretch here, but we need to finish it, down the stretch against these 2 home games, and we need, hopefully we get a good crowd out to help us do it. All right, Coach. Well, good luck, and good luck the rest of the way. Thank you. All right, stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time. And welcome back to It's Tea Time, and we're here with assistant coach on the women's basketball team. That's Coach Courtney Simmons, and Coach, I know
y'all kind of hit a snag in the middle of the conference season, and since then you were able to kind of turn things around and get back on the winning ways. Tough game at South Alabama. I know you don't want to talk about it much, but
not much.
You got lost late at the buzzer, and those are always the tough ones. But how'd your team play down there?
I mean, it's tough when you lose a game. It's 1 minute and 36 seconds left on the clock, and the game is really up to us to win or lose, and we just had some really bad miscues right there at the end of the game, 2 costly turnovers. And you can't do that against a team like South Alabama, who right now is probably one of the hottest teams in the conference outside of Arkansas State, who hadn't lost a game. So it was just unfortunate the way the game went down, but again, the girls went back and we regrouped. We went back to basics. We got back down to, the fundamentals and not making, careless errors like we did, and we found a way to gut it out and win a big game on the road against Appalachian State.
That's exactly right. I mean, taking that trip up to Boone is not easy, and especially after a tough loss on Tuesday. So to do that, you got to be proud of your team, and especially having to fight back and win into overtime, and then to dominate in overtime like you did.
Yeah, it's funny, and I just finished saying this a few minutes ago, that John Hartwell actually texted Coach Rigby after the game and said, "Shand, I see you still do anything to get that 100 points, even if it means going into overtime." That wasn't quite our plan. Shout out to John Hartwell, but it's just just finding a way to grit it out. And like I said a few minutes ago, even if the score was 12-13, no, that's not a fun game. No, that's not necessarily Troy basketball, because we like to score high, 90 to 100 points a game. But at this point in the season, we just want to win games, no matter if it's pretty wins or ugly wins. A win is a win at this point. So just the fact that the girls, found a way, because normally we'll go into games like that and we'll lose right at the end, and just finding a way to go ahead and regroup and find a way to even get into overtime, because we could have just folded. Their crowd started to get into the game, but the girls, Arjaya Saunders and Ashley Beverly Kelly, that's 2 kids that have basically put the team on their back. They're both playing about 40 minutes a game, and between the both of them, they had 61 points in the Appalachian State game. We scored 100 points. So that's more than half of our points from 2 kids. We only had 3 kids that scored in double-digit scoring that night. So it's just finding a way to gut it out and get wins. It's huge right now.
And right now, you mentioned it, that you're kind of at the end of your schedule, so you're fighting for every last win to get in those conference standings and fight for a good seed in that conference tournament. 4 games left, 2 left at home, and that's this week, Thursday and Saturday, starting off against Louisiana Lafayette.
Yeah, Lafayette is one of those games that, we kind of look back and, kind of kick ourselves, because that's a game that we should have won. When we went on the 6-game losing streak, every game that we lost outside of Arkansas State was a game that we lost the last 2 minutes of the game. And even the Arkansas State game, the score wasn't indicative of how good the game was. It was 20-something lead changes in the game. So it was a back-and-forth battle. But the other 5 games, and even the South Alabama game, we led for about 36 minutes of the game, and then it was lead changes right there at the end. But again, the Lafayette team they're well coached. They're undersized, so we look to get some points in the paint, and that's key for us. And the one thing I stressed, we had practice this morning at 6 a.m., and the entire time in practice, I was just saying, rebound, rebound. I even had a little chant going where, I'm dribbling the basketball and I'm just yelling out rebound. So that's our focus this week. Protecting the paint, scoring in the paint, and just, taking care of the basketball and getting rebounds. So it's huge.
I know you don't want to look way ahead, but then on Saturday, Louisiana Monroe, is it kind of the same thing?
Same thing. And we're in a unique situation where, unlike the men's side, it's still a battle, because the 3 bottom teams could go either way, And right now, Monroe has only won 3 games. One of the 3 games that they won in conference was against us, and then they beat Texas State, who's in 7th place right now. So if they can find a way to gut out some wins right here at the end of the season, they could also still make the tournament. So it's a matter of us just taking care of home. Again, that's senior night. It's a big night for both Ashley Beverly Kelly and Rachel Reed. We want to go out and make sure we, end good for those 2 kids on a high note. But again, it's all about seeding right now. We want to make sure these 2 wins this week will solidify our position in the tournament. And then it's all about trying to get the right position, because we hate to go in as an 8 seed and play the number 1 seed. We hate to go in as a 7 seed and play the 2 seed. So trying to get up as high as 3rd if possible, and we play a 6 seed. But so 3rd or 4th is our goal, but we got to go ahead and win outright the last 4 games and try to fight for position.
And as you said, last 2 games this weekend, last 2 games at home. Thursday at 5:15, Saturday at 2 o'clock, and that's senior night, and so a big one. After Ashley Beverly Kelly, been a huge part of this team for the past 4 years, so hopefully fans will go out and honor her this weekend.
Yeah, I think it'll be great, and that's just my plea to all the Trojan fans out there. This kid has worked hard. She's gave her sweat, blood, and tears to this university, and she's done a great job, and it would be great for us to try to get as many people in there as possible. So if you are free students, get in there and pack it up. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, she has been something special to watch over the years. So thank you for joining us.
No
and good
problem.
luck.
Thank you.
All right, stay tuned for more coming up on It's Tea Time.